Hello everyone, this is Supersnoopy here, back with another SWTOR video. So I'm just going to get right into it. So essentially a new roadmap for SWTOR has been released, and there's a lot of different stuff that is essentially gone over in it, kind of relating to new content and a bunch of different stuff. But there's one point that a lot of people have noticed, and I'm just going to go over pretty briefly, and that is server mergers. So they have been confirmed. It's been a while, and people have really wanted to see these, since, you know, a lot of servers are, to be quite honest, kind of dead, or really have almost no population. So this is definitely a very good change that they are actually, you know, trying to incorporate. So I will have a link in the description down below of this, as a little article that they released on the website. So I'm just gonna go over it very quickly. So essentially what they're doing with this update is they are just having a bunch of new servers, and the way it's going to work, there's actually going to be 5 new servers. So they're going to have all the NA East servers on one mega server. They're going to have all the NA West. It's going to work the same way with the EU. It's just going to be, you know, just English EU. It's going to be French EU, and then it's going to be German EU. So essentially the way they're doing it is they're just splitting up the servers. And if you go into the link, you can actually see which server you're on and how it's actually going to be moved. But they realistically, all they're trying to do is they're trying to limit all these servers just to remove them, and then set them all to kind of like these mega servers. So one thing compared to last time when they did server mergers is they're trying to make it a lot more simplistic this time. So one thing that they said is with the character name changes, they're going to have subscribers, and they're going to have free to play. Essentially everyone is just going to have their normal names, but if there is a conflict where someone has the same name from 2 servers that are actually merging, then they're going to have a priority system. Essentially subscribers are going to have priority over free to play and preferred players, and then highly played characters are going to have priority over characters with less playtime. Pretty straightforward. They're just going to be doing other stuff just to limit inactive characters. Pretty straightforward. And then they also talk about how, you know, if you're a subscriber and you have a maximum of 52 characters per server, that if you actually go over that limit, you can continue to play the amount of characters you have, but if you want to make a new character, you're going to have to delete some to actually deal with that cap. Pretty straightforward. With free-to-play accounts, so they are going to deactivate all the characters, and then you can activate the ones that you want. That's still kind of close to how the system is right now, so that's nothing to really worry about. Also, it seems that with the friends list, they aren't completely removing them like they normally did. Essentially, friends lists are going to stay the same this time with the server mergers. The way it's just going to work is if friends change names, it will automatically update. And then also the ignore list will actually not be affected as well with this. So that's a very, very nice. Also, GTN listings are not going to be affected, so that's very nice. Once again, it seems like they're trying to kind of minimize the amount of stuff that's actually going to change. Because a while back when we did see these mergers in the past, everything just was like changing up and you would have some issues. But with this time, that does not seem to be the case. So stamped appearances are not going to be effective, or actually, you know, affected at all. And then, you know, character transfers are going to still be available, but they will be actually turned off, I believe, you know, October 24th. That's what it says on the article. So, I mean, they are going to be there after the update, so I guess if you want to transfer off your, essentially your mega server and go to a different one, then that's always an option. But if you're watching this video before this actually happens, then I would really not recommend actually doing it, because it is kind of pointless, because, I mean, once again, eventually it's going to change up, or you're going to have all the mega servers, and then there's no reason to really do so. So I would honestly just wait, but if you don't want to, then that's 100% fine. It's not really going to affect you almost at all. So then in this article, they just continue going over legacy names and level. Essentially, the higher legacy will take over everything. They're talking about how nothing's effective, or actually, you know, affected. It seems like the big thing to really note is legacy stuff isn't affected at all, essentially. So that's really nice to actually see. Complete achievements remain intact. That's really nice, intact. So, I mean, it really is pretty useful. They also even say that, you know, decorations are fine. They just have all this different stuff. They're just basically saying that almost nothing is impacted by this change. Now, one thing they did say, however, for family trees for Legacy, they will be reset. But I mean, honestly, family trees, when it comes down to Legacy, is not an issue at all. Then cartel market item stash is going to stay the same. And then with the guilds, I think it's pretty interesting, to be honest. So they kind of are trying to work something out with the guild names that overlap. And I think that's pretty interesting. So essentially, if you have like two Jedi orders, one will say from what OG server it was from, and the other one will say what OG server it's from. So I guess you could rename your guild, obviously if you don't want the same exact guild. So that's pretty nice. And then they're going to have some conquest stuff. And then they're just talking about the actual leaderboards. So the leaderboards are going to continue as planned. I kind of expected that. There'd be no reason to really change anything up. So, I mean, overall, that's, I gotta say that's really, like, all there is to this, to be quite honest. I mean, they're just talking about, like, different rewards and stuff. When it comes down to the actual server mergers, that's all you really need to know about it. Again, you can obviously check the article. This is just a pretty brief summary. Just looking into the article while actually recording this. But if you just want to know all the stuff, just basically a quick little summary, then that's all there is to it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this quick SWTOR Pug video. If you did, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.